Howdy ho.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, not morning. Good
No.
afternoon. Good
Afternoon.
evening and good night. Goodbye.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
How's it going?
I'm well. How are you today?
What episode are we on?
64.
Oh, okay.
64.
I think I told somebody we've filmed 65 episodes so far.
Oh, man.
I lied. I apologize.
You should text
This is
them.
my public apology.
Who was it?
It was somebody at your mom's lunch.
Okay. 64.
64.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
It's been a little bit of a emotional 24 hours.
Okay.
That's dramatic. It's not even been that long. We just there's been a little bit of tension in our household. And so today I feel like I've kind of had some downtime to decompress and yeah, it's just been
Do you want to talk about it or not?
I do want to talk about it. Do you want me to just jump right in?
I mean, we might as well address the elephant in the room.
Well, and for our loyal listeners, this is nothing new. So as I've mentioned before,
should I guess?
Yes,
just
please.
kidding. I don't want to guess.
Please. I would love to hear what your assumption
I'm
is.
guessing it's something with Alice.
Spot on.
Okay.
Anything else to that?
Something school related, friend related.
I mean, I think deep down, this is where it's coming from.
Okay.
But so it's been a crazy couple of weeks for her because she was in a school play.
Yeah.
And the last few weeks before the actual performance, they are at school every single day. This last week, they were there till 8 p.m. every night. And then they had 3 performances over the weekend. On top of that, the school is like plagued right now. It is like, it's so bad. I was supposed to have a one-on-one with our head of school.
Yeah.
And he had to cancel because he had to go help sub in a class.
That's
there were
wild.
So many people out. Did I tell you this already?
You did, but okay. The podcast hasn't heard it.
You're acting like this is not new information. Anyways,
you told me this on Friday at lunch.
That's right. See, we can't hang out before we record because then we know our lives. But anyways, so I'm like wanting to preface with that because I know she's exhausted.
Yeah.
So yesterday was her first day where she had nothing. And we literally were like, you're staying in bed. We just want you to relax, chill, stay in PJs, do whatever, like just do your thing. And so she did that for most of the day. And then for her, cleaning her room is very therapeutic and it helps her start her week off. So she started to do that. She started to clean her room. She did all of her bedding, deep cleaned her room, her bathroom, showered. She was like taking care of it all.
Yeah.
So then last night I'm like, hey, there's this fun movie I want to watch. We'll rent it and we'll do a movie night. And so we're doing that and it wraps up and it's starting to get kind of late and it's been a long week. So I'm like, okay, girls, it's time for bed. And Allie's like, do you mind if I shower real quick before bed? And we're like, nope, you already showered. Like, there's no need for that. And her reasoning was because she had been sitting on the couch. And for her, the couch felt dirty.
Oh,
and she wanted to shower.
Okay.
And Chad and I, in our logical brains, were like, that's not really making sense to us. You've already showered. If you feel like your clothes are dirty, feel free to put on some new PJs.
Yeah.
But we don't want to start a whole new shower process, which we know is going to take you time.
Right.
And then bedtime's going to get delayed.
Yeah.
And it's like in the moment, I really wanted to I really was trying to be like, we're not going to shower.
Yeah.
You don't need to shower. I'm really hoping you understand this is kind of a ridiculous request. Like trying to, and like, I wish in retrospect, Chad and I had used kinder language around it because like at one point we were laughing / beating ourselves up after the conversation. She wasn't in the room. But at one point we're like, this isn't normal. Like, this isn't how you should behave. Like, this isn't whatever. And we're like, Chad's like, you got to talk to a therapist or something. Like, he's like, we're like trying to do these things to like waken her up is like our motivation. And it's doing the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like, she's like, I don't understand why you won't just let me go shower, And so then I did. I was like, you know what? Go shower. But I didn't say it like that. I actually was very mean with my tone. And I said, go shower. And afterwards, it's straight to bed, lights out, no reading, no da-da-da. Because usually she has a unwinding process when she's in bed.
Yeah.
And then I was like stressing because I'm like, okay, there's an underlying thing with some friendship stuff I don't even want to go into, but like that's on my mind. Her play, there was a little bit of that was part of it because some of the friends that were in the play aren't coming back next year.
Okay.
So she was emotional Saturday night after the play because she knew that was like a big thing. Like, I'm not going to do this again with those girls. And I think it comes back to like in my like brain, I'm like, it's a control thing. She wants to control a situation that she feels makes her feel better.
Yeah.
And there's all these other areas in life that she can't control and that feels hard to regulate those emotions. So like this is something that she can, and she has a physical response to it. Like she feels relaxed, cozy when everything is clean and in order.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to figure out how to be able to not understand it and support it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at today. Yeah. And then I started thinking, and then something happened where we've booked a trip to South Africa around Christmas time.
Okay.
And I found out that there's a huge cheer competition during that trip.
Oh, wow.
For her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. And so I asked her.
You already booked the trip?
I've already booked the trip.
Okay.
I asked her, there's been a little, every once in a while she's made a come out, not sure what she wants to do with cheer next year. So I've asked her, today I told her I found out nationals as while we were away. And she said, well, maybe that means I shouldn't cheer this year. So she's even contemplating that. And again, that is tied with friendship stuff. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, man, cheer's been such a part of her identity and something she's so enjoyed the last 4 years. To now hear her go into something different. So I've kind of spent my morning trying to just think through what are other opportunities I can put her in that are going to help foster good friendships, that are going to help grow her confidence. How do I take these mannerisms and parent well with them? Every child's different.
Mm-hmm.
I have to understand she is so uniquely made. And so how do I take that? And I'm wrestling with it because I'm like, Chad and I, the other part of our conversation, are we enabling a behavior that we know is irrational? Are we allowing this to get worse by allowing her to do these things? Do we try to say, hey, 1 shower a day? I don't know. I'm not figuring it out.
What's the vibe this morning?
It was
after last night.
A little awkward, not gonna lie. We're kind of hello. It's very formal. No, on the car ride, I apologized. I just said, hey, I just need you to hear from me that I don't like ending a night where there's anger and tension and sadness. To me, that's the worst way to end your weekend and go to bed. And that's how it felt. It just felt like we went to bed angry. We tried to say, we love you. We're upset. We want to talk tomorrow, but we love you and we understand this is important to you right now. So we are allowing this, whatever. But today I just said, I really want to sit down and have a conversation where we understand where this is coming from and we understand what's going on in your head, because I've noticed she's been kind of staying in her room a lot. And I'm like, it kind of clicks last night. It's she feels like there's parts of our house that if she sits on the couch, she's going to feel dirty. So maybe she's purposely staying in her room, secluding herself because she feels like that's a clean, safe space. Yeah. And I'm like, that makes me really sad. Yeah. I'm like, I've been wanting a new couch. So I guess that's part of it.
That's what you're getting. You're getting a new couch.
Yeah.
For your daughter.
But yeah. And I mean, and I don't know.
It might be, so not to diagnose your daughter, but it sounds a little bit like OCD.
Yeah. Yep. We've talked about before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before getting to the point of saying, Allie, you're going to talk to a therapist, could you guys talk to a therapist and be like, this is what my daughter's going through? Yeah. What would you recommend? How should we parent in this situation? Not that they're a parenting expert, but just from somebody with that OCD counseling lens. Because I know somebody we know went to therapy for OCD. Okay. She had there's different variations of OCD, obviously. Hers is very germ focused, and she was able to really make a lot of progress with the therapist. Okay. So yeah, I mean, could be worth just as a parent saying totally. I don't know, what should we do? Right. Is it okay? I remember when I was a kid, my mom and I would clash because it was really important to her that I went to bed. Yeah. But it was important to me that I got my homework done. Yes. And I would be doing these. Same. I was in advanced math classes, and I was, for my OCD brain, I have to finish things. I can't start something and leave it unfinished. Sure. So that was something we'd fight all the time, because I'm I need to finish this, and she'd be like, you need to go to bed. Yeah. And I feel like Allie's probably feeling similar to how I felt, where I was I'm trying to do my homework. I'm not trying to watch TV. Totally. She's I just want to shower. Yeah. That's good for 100%. Me. So, right. Yeah, it's tricky. I know. And I don't know what it is about me personally. I'm curious. I'll talk to your mom about it too. But there is something, I get very anxious at night when my kids aren't going to bed and
appropriate time in my head because I do all the morning stuff. And for some reason, when they are cranky in the morning, it derails me. Like I have such a hard time. I just feel like I should be used to it at this point. I've had these children in my life for 10 years. Like I should know how to do that. But for some reason, knowing that the mornings are going to be stressful and emotional and pulling teeth to get things to happen, it like makes me so worried at night when it's not going well. And so there's, it probably wouldn't hurt to talk to somebody for that, for myself, and then for the other things. But yeah, and then, you know, anytime your kiddo is hurting, like to me, it's a symptom of a deeper issue. Mm-hmm. And so that's just hard. It's hard when you know something's happening and like it's not good, you know? So totally. It's like she's wrestling with something and you hate to see that. So anyways, that was a really long introduction to...
I think when you're a parent, you want to see your kids thriving. And when they're not, it's hard.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's been part of my
part of your weekend.
Part of my weekend.
Part of your life.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, I had a couple of things to check with you on.
Okay.
What first question is, have you whistled yet?
No, Austin, and I don't think I will.
I've been blowing bubblegum left and right.
It's just your new thing.
Easy peasy.
I did notice at the retreat last week, he didn't volunteer to be the one to do
I wasn't that confident yet.
Okay.
No, I was not. I'm not going to test my brand new skill in front of 50 people.
Whoa, I'm not ready for that.
So you haven't whistled yet?
I haven't whistled.
Okay. I want to give an update on my May challenge, which was weight loss challenge. Mm-hmm. I've lost 1.6 pounds.
Sure.
No, it's not what? In 19 days.
Is May almost?
Yeah, May's almost over, which is insane.
Okay.
I think being on a weight loss challenge makes me want to eat more.
I'll tell you what.
I really do. I really think it's like making it. I just don't want to.
Yeah. I told Chad I'm really struggling with so much of my enjoyment is food based.
Yeah.
And like it's a problem.
100%.
I like it is, especially on the weekends. I'm like, all I can think about is consumption.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to break that cycle. I need to find things that I can consume that aren't bad for me.
Yeah.
And shift, or I need to have something else that I'm doing that takes that, because right now there's just some downtime and my instinct is to go snacky.
Yeah. I had some borderline addict behavior the other day, and I told Brian. I actually didn't tell Brian about it 2 days later because I was embarrassed about it. But I was on the way home, or it was after the Wabri event. Mm-hmm. I was on my way to my parents' house, spend the night there, and I was just craving sweets, a dessert.
Right.
And I was like, I really want a peanut butter milkshake. Like I was just like craving peanut butter milkshake. Mm-hmm. I went to one burger place. They didn't have peanut butter. It was a milkshake flavor, so I left. It felt kind of bad, but I left. Yeah, and then I kept driving. Like, okay, I don't need dessert. I'm fine. And then I drove by Crumble Cookie, and I got the minis. I got 3 of the minis. Yeah. I ate them in my car.
Yeah.
I stopped at a trash can in Lakewood Town Center to throw away the box because I didn't want any evidence.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. But it felt kind of like, you know what? Weird.
It's so relatable. It is. And it's there. Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody about it until this moment. Well, I told Brian because I was like, I need to confess something to you.
Right. What was his response? How does he feel about it?
Like, I don't know.
He's like, that's weird.
Yeah. Like you're hiding your Crumble Cookie. Like,
that's really nice. Yeah. I got a lecture because I got granola that was high in carbs, and so we have different households that you and I live in. I am an Enneagram 7, and our deadly sin is gluttony.
Oh,
and addiction is a problem. Mm-hmm. And I am like, oh, it's weird. I'm like not addicted to it. I don't stick to anything for too long to be addicted. And then I was thinking about it recently, and I was like, I think maybe there's something about this dopamine in food and consuming of food and drinks and whatever it might be that I actually do have a struggle with.
Yeah.
So
no, it's real.
And I think there's something about 3s going to 7s in certain states.
Yeah, that's me. So I have addictive personality for sure. Thankfully, nothing. I mean, food is a big one for me, like sweets. Pickleball, I feel addicted to pickleball.
I'm telling you what.
Legitimately, it feels like I'm okay with that addiction though.
It's
social media is such a common one in this day and age, but like I can feel myself like craving that hit of TikTok sometimes.
Yeah.
So I gotta keep my things in check. But I'm very grateful. Well, okay, I will be very, very vulnerable on the podcast. Which I wouldn't normally. I've smoked a few cigarettes in my life. Ugh. Each time I craved cigarettes
really
for weeks. Like I know
This is fascinating.
I know that I would be so addicted to cigarettes if I were to actually
Really?
smoke one. So yeah, I've smoked probably half a cigarette 3 times over the last 10 years, and each time I'm just like, I can never do this. I
Yeah.
can't do it because I
Yeah.
like want more.
That's actually so impressive that you can do it so once in a blue moon
Yeah.
and then just stop.
It's been a long time. It's been probably they were all in college,
Couple
so
days.
it's probably been no. I think they were all between 18 and 22 is when I did them, and
Okay.
I just because other people were, and
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
I swore I would never do it again
Yeah.
because it was so such I was so hooked to it.
Yeah. I have never tried a cigarette.
Really,
I've tried almost everything else. I mean,
it's
I haven't done
awesome.
hardcore drugs. Please, careful now. But like, I've done absolutely everything more than once. No, just kidding. Yeah, that's the one thing I have not ever tried.
I would say you should try it, but you probably shouldn't try it.
Listen, not with our personality traits.
Okay, so that's an update on my May challenge.
Wow.
So whether or not I actually stick with it, I don't know.
Okay, and you've also been ramping up some of your training.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, because there's muscle mass and then there's
and water weight's a big thing.
Water
I'm
weight.
drinking so much water right now.
But like, do you ever one of those BMI things?
No.
It's like a thing you hold and it tests your BMI.
Mhm.
Or I don't know if you have to hold it, but that's one way. Anyways, I'd be curious to see what that is for you.
Yeah.
Because as you're training and building muscle, it could be not changing the scale,
Yeah.
but it's trimming up your body.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a long bike ride yesterday. My legs are feeling a little sore today.
A little
sore.
jiggly. Okay.
Okay, so those are my little updates.
All right.
So let's go into our weekends. It's
Okay,
been 2 weekends.
It has been a couple weeks.
How was your weekend before last?
So
what did you do?
The weekend before last, I got together with my friend Carrie of Carrie and Blue.
Of Carrie and Blue
It was
of Gig Harbor
Best Western. Wesleyan. It was her birthday that Saturday. So I took her to Brown. We did a little wine tasting Friday night. And then her and the family came over to my house and we did dinner and the girls swam and we hung out at my house for that evening.
Nice.
So that was Friday night.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want us to do your whole weekend?
I'll just do my whole weekend because it's pretty quick. So Saturday we did Pipes had another volleyball game and we had a friend come over and then we had two classmates of Piper's came over. Chad was in the garage. He is on this big kick of cleaning out our garage.
Nice. Spring cleaning.
It's spring cleaning. It is.
Is he cleaning it out so that your daughters can have sleepovers in the car in the garage?
No, he's cleaning it out because he has purchased a golf simulator setup.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And so he is really taking his time and making sure he does everything right.
Does it take up a lot of space or is it pretty...
It doesn't take up a ton, but so for example, he wants to seal the floor.
Oh, okay.
And so like in order to do that, we've got to clean things out. He's got to move things. We just also, when we moved into the house originally, it's like you just put a bunch of stuff in the garage and then slowly things get moved around, but we've never like gone in and been like, okay, let's really organize.
Yeah.
So he kind of rearranged. He got some new like shelving units and like put some bins on there and stuff. So so he was a little bit MIA Saturday doing that. Okay. So I was hosting a little play date. Allie had play practice, so she was there. I feel like I've been driving to the school campus. It's astronomical how many times I've gone. It's unbelievable. I go maybe 3 to 4 times a day.
Wow.
It's wild.
That is wild.
It is unbelievable.
What's the time from your house?
I mean, it's only like a 10-minute drive.
Okay.
So it's
that
not
adds
bad.
Up.
It does. It does.
So you're doing 30 minutes a day to and from with 3 to 4 times. How many times a week? 5 or 6 days a week?
Yeah.
It's 150. That's 3 hours a week, basically, of driving to and from school.
Yeah.
It's not nothing.
It's not. And that was, I don't think it's going to be like that moving forward. Last week was just a weird schedule. But anyways, so Pipes had her friends. Allie was at play practice. Chad's cleaned the garage. I was just doing stuff around the house. I feel like I was feeling a little bit like it's Mother's Day weekend and I'm kind of on my own and just started to get that like little pit in my stomach of like things aren't sitting right. And then so then Saturday, Piper's one of her friends gets picked up. The other friend, the way we convinced them to join us was I offered to bring her home.
Nice.
And because the mom was like, I've got an event Saturday night, so she wouldn't be able to get home. And I was like, oh, I'll just bring her back. And not knowing they lived deep Graham, like a 45-minute drive. Talk about being in the car for a long time. So I get this child back home.
Is it just you and the child?
No.
Oh,
Baby is
okay.
with
I'm
me.
like, that's an awkward 45-minute car ride.
I'm like, Sue, what's your favorite color? So we drop her off, and then I had heard people in the office talking about Out and About Burger. Have you been there?
I've driven by it, but I've never been.
Okay.
It's in Puyallup. It's on South.
There's two.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, there's Meridian, and then there's another one. So anyways, I was like, oh, I'm kind of driving back through Puyallup. I'll stop and get that for dinner.
Nice.
So I brought that home. And it was good. I think I am not biased by saying this, but I do prefer Radners.
Love it. Appreciate
I think I had in my head, oh, it's Out and About. It's supposed to mimic In and Out.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was good. I mean, it was fine. It was good. Didn't blow me out of the water.
Have you had Dick's Burgers in Seattle? Mm-hmm. How would you rank that compared to In and Out?
Oh, no, I'd prefer In and Out.
Me too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that prefer Dick's over In and Out. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. In and Out is the best thing ever.
I'll tell you, I like to call it Richards, to be honest with you. It's my preference, but I enjoy yeah. I enjoy their like fries and shakes. Their burgers are just fine. Mm-hmm. I don't go there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever shop at Richards Sporting Goods?
100%. And that's exactly what I call it. Yeah. My friend Denise and she was the one who told me that. She's like, I'm going to go to Richards and grab some spice. I'll be there. Anyways, so that was Saturday. That was kind of how we wrapped up. Sunday was Mother's Day.
Nice.
And
were you made to feel special?
Okay. I feel like this episode, I'm going to get like some judgy things. Luckily, we're not the famous. It's not that big of a deal. But so I woke up and the kids and Chad did give gifts, and that was very sweet, very thoughtful. And then we kind of hung out a bit. Like we were like, it was just a quiet morning. We were going to go to the noon service. No, I was working in the nursery. Okay. So again, it was a busy weekend. Piper wasn't feeling 100%.
Okay.
So kind of dealing with some emotions, some not feeling great kids. So Chad and I took Stella for a walk, and then he was like, did you want some breakfast or something? And I was like, yeah, I'd love Brewers Row breakfast burritos. And I had kind of planted that seed a few days prior. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's still my ideal plan this morning, is like, we have those burritos. He's like, okay, great. I'll go grab those. So he went and got those. I got ready for church. We were going to go to the 10:30 service, serve there, and then attend the noon service. But it ended up Pipes was just crashing. So we were like, okay, let's just get her home so she can nap. And then we were hosting my parents and my friend Denise and her girls for lunch. So went home. And again, this is where it's like, and Chad and I have talked about it, so that's fine that I'm sharing it here. But like, we get home, we have a good couple of hours before everybody's coming over. We kind of tidy up, and then it's just like quiet. And I'm like, and he's like, he goes into the living room. Pipey's resting. He goes into the back living room, starts watching golf. Allie sits in the main living room, is watching a show on TV. So I'm like, guess I'll go outside and read my books. So I like sat outside and read for a little bit. But like for me, I know it sounds so silly, but it's like, that's not my love language.
Yeah.
Like abandoning me, which is how I feel, is not my jam. I really would have preferred some intentional time together. Anyways, it's fine. Then my parents come over. Do you want to say something?
I was just gonna, do you like
communicate
something
that?
I do? No, something I do is I build things up in my head without communicating.
Yeah.
Which sorry, Rondi Miller, but I know I inherited this from my mom too, because we both do this, where we like imagine how a scenario is going to happen, 100%. And then when it doesn't happen, we're disappointed, but we didn't necessarily communicate those expectations.
I am the worst.
Yeah.
Like, I just, for some reason in my head, I assume things are going to blow my mind every time. And it's going to be the best thing I've ever experienced. And that's not realistic. Yeah. I heard something recently about don't have a conversation. How did they say it? It was a little bit different, but along the same lines of don't have a conversation about somebody in your head who's not in the room. And it's basically like assuming things with this other, like you're kind of assuming the thing and you're creating a narrative in your head, but you're not actually communicating that with the other person.
Yeah. On the flip side of that though is it's Mother's Day. I shouldn't have to say something. I shouldn't have to ask for this.
Bingo, bango.
Why is it on me to communicate my expectations when it's literally my day? Yeah, I got it. I understand.
So then my parents came over, Denise came over, and we had a great meal together. We had a lovely little afternoon. And then everybody wrapped up and we were again back to kind of this like quiet scenario. I want to say it was like around 5:30. And it just felt like as soon as everybody left, the house dispersed. Like Chad went back. I don't know where he went. Somewhere the girls were away. I don't know. But all of a sudden I was like, oh, here I am in the kitchen cleaning up the dishes. Like I was just like, what's happening? So I did have.
You're making a lot of noise, like
100%. Throwing. How did that get broken? At one point, Kelly and Shannon had mentioned they were going to be free on Sunday. They're like, maybe we do a family hang or maybe we do something. So I reached out to them and I was like, I ended up having more free time than I thought. If you guys are still down to do something, let's go hang out. So they were like, yeah, we just finished this. We'll meet you here. So Chad came out and he did say he had the Sunday scaries. He was just feeling a little down. And I was like, it sucks to meet you.
Not pick a different Sunday, dude.
It's like same, sir. No, I was like, well, Shannon and Kelly want to go grab drinks at Thirsty Hound, which is right up the street from me. So I went, met them there. And
it's like a Galentine's Day, but Mother's Day edition.
I know. And people do say like that's actually what his mom's want. So yeah, that was the rest of Mother's Day. When I came back, he was kind of already in bed. We didn't really talk that night. The next morning, we had to have a little conversation where he's like,
powwow.
It's like, it feels like maybe you were a little disappointed about yesterday. And I just said, I feel like it wasn't ideal. And he totally like received all that so well and was like, you shouldn't have had to ask what you want. I know your love language is quality time.
Yeah.
So he fully accepted it and did a great job. Like, let's fix it. Let's do, other things. So, it's been so much better since we had that conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of, I don't know, just kind of sat in that for a minute.
Yeah. How often, like, I feel like the realization that I'm having recently is that sometimes we need to remind our partners of our love languages. I'm curious, like, how often should we be reminding them?
Do you know what? I don't know about you, but I can sense in my gut, something needs to happen because I start to start holding resentment.
Yeah.
And when I start to do that and I'm like, oh, I need to share this. Like it's because they don't know that that's happening. Right. Yeah. Like, and actually we had another one of those conversations this weekend. I had felt like I had been doing a ton of stuff around the house and I do have more availability and time in my life to be doing household things, but I don't want to do it all. Yeah. And so just to be clear, so I had to bring it up and I tried to do it kindly because that's the other thing. How I deliver information makes a world of difference. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but if I can say it kindly and can say, hey, this, and just, it's usually received so much better. And Chad does so much. Like, I know he does way more than a lot of husbands do that work full time and have kids and blah, blah, blah. So I'm super grateful, but there are still those times. But for me, to go back to the original question, it's when I can sense resentment building up, then I know I need to have a conversation soon because otherwise I will shut down.
Yeah. It's all about communication.
Yeah.
It is. Really is. It happened last night.
Here we go.
Brian sat down on the couch and I was not happy about it.
Dare him. Brian, stand up.
There was stuff to do and I was like, I snapped and I was like, you could have at least asked if I need help before you sat down on the couch and turned it into a whole thing. So my fault.
You know what? You're a big person for admitting that could have been handled differently. I think that's huge. How did you reconcile that? How do you
we sat in separate rooms for a few minutes and then eventually I went in there and we made it.
So you went back and you
I did, but then it didn't go because I went into the room and I was trying to move on and then
without acknowledging the fact that you
and my response wasn't, and then his response to my going in there wasn't what I wanted, so then I left again and then he came out to me and it was a whole thing, but we worked it out. Yeah, worked it out.
Yeah.
It only lasted like 20 minutes. It wasn't that bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Could
have been longer.
I feel like those are rare for you too.
Yeah, only once or twice a day.
Yeah. Easy. You guys are fine.
Okay,
sir. I've done so much talking this episode.
Great. Have you been to Monterey before? Monterey, California.
Love it.
I had no idea how great it was.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I didn't even know it was somewhere I should want to go.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on my radar, but it was amazing.
Have you watched Big Little Lies on HBO?
Yeah. It's based
Set
there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get why those people live there.
I know.
It's
Anytime
awesome.
I think of that area, their theme song comes into my head.
Have you done the 17-mile drive thing?
I don't know if we've done that.
It's the most picturesque scenic drive along the coast.
I'm sure we have.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. So let me just run through my weekend real quick. So we were there for a wedding.
Okay.
Our friends Josh and Julie were getting married.
I remember seeing some pictures of this.
Yes.
And at the reception, I want to say you guys had some sort of like lasery thing.
Yeah. Little, I don't even know what they'd call them. Little
like a saber.
Wands,
little lightsaber
things. Yeah, those are cool.
That was fun.
Kind of funny aside that I just thought of. So at the wedding, they had a DJ, and the whole time I thought the DJ was like a friend of theirs or something because he seemed pretty like friendly with everybody. And then I started kind of noticing, oh, this is just a random guy. Oh, it's just and Brian and I are like, as we're wedding planning, every wedding we go to, which we're going to a lot right now. Yeah, we're always like trying to figure out what we want to do, what we don't want to do, and we're extra critical right now of weddings because we're planning ours. Yeah, it was an amazing wedding. One thing we realized that we probably don't want to do is have a stranger be our DJ / MC. Okay, which most people do. Most people hire an MC DJ, and they're the ones making the announcements throughout the night. Yep. Exhibit A, this guy throughout the night, or not throughout the night, but at the end of the night, we're like wrapping up. It's the last song, last dance. Sure. Do you remember what the bride's name was that I just told you? Oof. Josh and Julie. Julie's the bride's name. Got it. At least 2 times, I think 3 times, he called her Julia. And the very last thing he says, last song is played, and then he's like, once again, congratulations, Josh and Julia. Oh, no. Ending it with the wrong name. And it was just that's bad. So funny. I don't know if people noticed, but I was like paying attention to it because I had heard him say Julia earlier. Yeah. And it's just so funny. So,
oh, man. Do you feel like anybody else was like, it's Julie?
I don't know. I wanted to say something. Well, no, I wanted to say something. Okay. But, I mean, people were drinking and having fun, so I was just like, that's just funny to me. Yeah. I really hope it's caught on video and they're like editing the wedding video and they're like, what? Who? Okay, so that was nothing to do with what I was saying, but I just remember that. So we were there. I think we got there Friday. Yeah, we did Friday to Monday for that trip. Fun. We stayed in Monterey at this little hotel. I don't remember what it's called, but it was a cute little kind of motel-y hotel. Yep. And let's see. So Friday we just explored. We were there with our friends Justin and Lauren. They live in Salt Lake City. Okay. And we were really close with them. We're still really close with them, but we don't get to see them that often. Yeah. So it was really nice. We got to spend the whole weekend with them. Oh, nice. Awesome. So they were at our same hotel, and they had a rental car, and the 4 of us kind of stuck together all weekend.
How do you guys know bride and groom? What's your connection to
bride and groom? The groom was in Brian's fraternity. Okay. So got it. Yeah. Let's see. So that Friday drove around. We did the 17-mile drive, which is just incredible.
I feel like I probably have done that in my lifetime, but growing up so close to there, I feel like as a kid, you don't recognize like, oh, this is beautiful. This is
one of the most incredible things ever.
I'm like, where's the trees? Yeah. Yeah.
I was on Redfin because I was in the backseat of the car, just admiring the views. And I'm like so curious how much houses are. Yeah. And we were going, and there was like houses for like 5 to 7 million. I'm like, okay, that's kind of what I was expecting. Yeah. We keep going. Houses are getting nicer and nicer to these like castles, like palatial houses. Okay. Yeah. And there were like some 30 to 40, like every house in certain areas was like 30 to 40 million dollars. Okay. Like just crazy money. I'm like, who are these people? Yeah. There's hundreds of these houses that are $30 million. Who are these people? I don't know. So that was Friday. Saturday morning, woke up. I needed to run a 13-mile, a half marathon.
Needed to
this month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a beautiful place to do it.
Okay.
So I woke up Saturday morning and actually rewind. Friday night we did like a little welcome party thing at a little seltzery. So seltzers and pizzas and stuff. That's and then great. Saturday morning woke up and did that 13-mile run.
Ooh, how'd you feel after pizzas and seltzers the night before?
I felt pretty good actually. Okay. Yeah. I was pretty good at my consumption. Okay. Nice. I woke up and my friend Soleil, she ran the first, I think like 5 miles with me. Okay. And then I just kept going, and I did the run where I'd driven the day before, and it was seriously the best run I've ever been on.
That's awesome.
It was incredible. Yeah. Got that done, and then we had the wedding that night. Beautiful wedding. It was in a like bakery that had this like cool back area with these beautiful trees and this like barn thing. It was just really, really cool.
I love it was a bakery.
Yeah, it was really cool flow to it. Like you kind of started, I don't know. The things we're paying attention to now with weddings, like we're trying to create a good flow with our wedding, and their wedding just had a really good, like you did your ceremony here, then you moved to dinner here, then dancing here, and just the whole thing really made sense. So it was great. They had a lot of desserts. That was one thing we paid attention to. They had at one point they brought out like burgers and milkshakes. So milkshake was the first dessert. They had
Wait, that was a dessert?
That burgers was like a late night snack, and then they had little mini milkshakes that came along with it.
My gosh,
pretty cool. And then we had the wedding cake.
Okay,
and then they had this like these bags of candies they were giving to everybody.
Love it.
And they had these little mini pastry desserts out, and then they had an ice cream cart.
What?
They had 5 desserts. It was crazy.
I love these people.
And like we were gonna do 1 or 2. Now we're like, do we need 3 or 4 now? I think we need more dessert. So yeah,
up the game.
Awesome wedding, and then hanging out with Justin, Lauren, Keith, and Soleil. It's fun just hanging out with people. It's fun being. That's what I really love about destination weddings. Is you're like with people for a few days, and just like spending all your time with them, and we got to really catch up with friends we haven't seen in a while. So it was awesome.
That's so fun. Okay.
Oh, so Carmel, I forgot to talk about.
I was going to say, is this a place you want to go back to now?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Monterey is where we're staying, and then Carmel by the Sea is like a 10-minute drive away.
Right.
Super cute town with all these like cottages and little passageways between buildings, and very, very cool.
Yeah.
Apparently Taylor Swift frequents Carmel.
I'm sure.
A restaurant we went to or a restaurant we walked by that is apparently one of the best restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
That Taylor Swift goes to all the time, and so it was great.
You didn't see her and Travis?
We did see. We didn't want to bother them though, so
I'll give you your space.
Yeah,
respectful.
They gave us a little head nod. And we walked on, so
love it.
That was a weekend. It was awesome.
Amazing.
I would love to go back.
Okay. The thing about Monterey I remember is the aquarium. That was a field trip we would take.
I missed that. Everybody was doing that while I was doing my run, so I missed the aquarium. But I did hear feedback that it was a little bit lackluster.
Oh, really?
For the cost, I think it was like $75 a ticket, like crazy expensive.
I don't remember.
And people were saying it was not worth that dollar amount.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, this recent weekend we were together. Friday.
Yes, and we're supposed to be together Saturday, and then I bailed.
Thank goodness, because that would have given us 0 content to talk about. So Friday was Rondi's birthday. Yep. Happy birthday, Rondi.
I forgot to mention that. I'm so sorry. It was Mother's Day weekend when we were in Monterey. So I missed Mother's Day.
Okay.
So I was feeling bad. So I really try to make her birthday weekend extra special. Nice. So Friday, and then I'm doing something for her today as well.
Yeah. I feel like Friday was a success.
I think so.
I missed the first half due to illnesses. That was one of the mornings. I thought, okay, I'm just going to let my kids sleep in, and I'll take them in maybe around 10 or so. We'll see how they're feeling. Well, Pipes wakes up, and at first she's okay hanging out, and then she goes, it's Fun Friday. If I don't get all my work done, I don't get to have Fun Friday. I have to go now. And it's like a thing at school where if they get their work done throughout the week, they get extra free time. But if they don't get it all done, then they have to finish their work.
Nice. That's motivating.
Yeah,
I like it.
Clearly it's motivating because she didn't want to hang out at home. She's like, please, can you take me? So I literally took her to school, came back, let Allie finish getting ready, and then took her to school.
Okay.
Came back. So one of those days.
I think we should implement Fun Friday in the workplace.
If you get all your work done, you get some free time.
You get free time.
I love it. So, and then I met you guys up for lunch.
Yep.
That was great.
Katie
Downs. And then that evening we did the TRM event. I was like, what's it called?
Hope Givers.
Yes. Yeah. The gentleman who spoke before Duke, Myron.
Yeah.
Okay. That's such a unique name.
This is cool. Yeah. There's also a Byron that used to be like affiliated. So that was really confusing to me for a while, but it's Myron.
Well, I loved it. I just thought he was so great.
Super eloquent.
Such a heart for what's going on. I mean, Duke as well, but
Duke speaks more from the heart, from the emotion.
Yes.
Myron is like a very like articulate speaker.
Yes. Yeah. So I loved that. I really appreciated just his words, and it just, to me, it's one of those things like we volunteer here and there. We've done some events. But I loved hearing a little bit more, and just being there.
Yeah. I was even saying this, Isaac, like being on the board.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of my time doing like stuff with policies and board governance stuff.
Yeah.
And it's nice being in an environment like that where we are reminded of the reason that we're doing this
100%.
stuff and the people that are affected and it's just there are a lot of staff that were there that are on the front lines of working with homeless people. And so it was, and just hearing some of the statistics and stuff that they were sharing is pretty amazing.
Well, I think it kind of piggybacked from our retreat where we went to the Good Neighbor Village and we were learning about that community that they're building. And so going back to just this simple thing of giving people some dignity and just like I'm not saying I can be so quick to judge people. And so to just be reminded of like, that's usually I'm wrong in that. Usually my assumptions and my judgments are wrong in all areas of my life.
Yeah.
Just really good to hear a little bit more eye-opening stats there. So
I think so. The stats that stuck with me. So there's 3,000 people in Pierce County experiencing homelessness right now.
It was actually 2,600 and
29 something.
I thought it was only 26 because I guess 27 and it was right below mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So a third of them are chronically homeless, meaning they've been homeless for more than a year.
Right.
Most of those people more than like 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's around a little under 1,000.
Yeah.
And this village that is being built will house 300 of these people.
Yeah.
So let's say that's a third. So it's going to be it's going to reduce the number of chronically homeless people by a third once it's done, which is pretty amazing. That's a huge accomplishment.
The thing that stuck out to me on our retreat and then again kind of reinforced on Friday night is this concept of relational depravity. How does she say
relational equity?
Relational equity. So
poverty. Relational
poverty.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah. Where basically a lot of one of the biggest reasons people end up homeless is because of that, because they lack relationship and they lack the ability to call somebody when there's a crazy emergency and they need help.
Yeah.
And that is like the biggest gut punch, I think, for, just feeling like I could never imagine not having people to talk to, to go to. Like we're so lucky in our setup and with our friends and families that would just probably never ever be our story. And it's heartbreaking to think there are so many people that is their reality.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest cause. It's not drugs. It's not addiction. It's not choosing to be homeless. It's because they don't have people in their life.
Yeah. So, a lot of times the drugs and the mental health stuff is a result of the homelessness, not a cause of the homelessness.
Yeah. Okay. So that was my Friday.
Me too. Same. Ditto.
Same. And then Saturday was a little bit kind of back and forth again because Allie's got the play. She also babysat for the first time. Nice. Our neighbors. It was so cute. We're getting ready to go. And so she's like, okay, I've got my list of things to talk to them about. I've got the poison control number. I've got this because she'd taken a babysitting class last summer.
Yeah.
So she had all these notes from there. She's going to talk about nap schedule, this. And I'm like, okay, it's only 2 hours. And I believe they're like 6 and 8, like they're actually grown. But it was just funny how she had all these things on her list to talk about. So yeah, she did that in the morning and we took Piper to her volleyball game. Volleyball has been, I'm finding I am very competitive and like 4th grade volleyball. I'm on the edge of my seat and I'm actually getting a little bit of a lecture from Piper afterwards that I need to calm down, that I'm saying too much.
That's awesome.
So I did take note of like, okay, I could sense that. I could sense it in myself that I needed to rein it in. But I get it's like, oh, they're doing so much better. It's like they are so close to doing like phenomenally and they're doing great, but they could just a few things and they would be crushing every game. Anyways, so that was Saturday morning. Then we go back, grab Allie from babysitting, take her to the school. I think we had a couple hours in the afternoon because that was when we were going to hang out with you guys.
Yep.
And we did a rain check there, which actually ended up being such a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So then
was it beautiful?
It was beautiful.
It was not a where I was at?
We ended up meeting up with Shannon and Kelly and played pickleball with all of our families.
Oh,
yeah.
it was raining the entire day, like dumping.
Okay.
Up in
I was thinking like, because Furcrest was where the baseball game was going to be, which is why you guys were coming originally. And I was like, I don't even know if it rained at all this morning, and they could have probably played. But anyways,
thank you for rain checking. We really needed that.
And actually us too. It worked out perfectly because we had some downtime. And we were like, we would have loved to seen you guys, just like you were saying, but it also was like, we've been going so nonstop over the week that we were like, it's actually nice. So we had a little bit of downtime, but then we did run out and play pickleball with our friends for a bit. And we played at Basalt Park.
Okay.
And it was so windy. It was actually a pain. Did you ever play outside?
Just so when we were in Victoria, I play outside every once in a while, but in Victoria it was super windy too.
I'm realizing
it's not fun to play pickleball in the wind.
No. And I'm realizing that as of late, that's the majority of where I play. I haven't gone indoors since we played at the Drop, and it's so different with the wind, and there's like at Basalt, the concrete is like cracked. It's not great. Anyways, it was still fun to do that with our friends, and then we went to Allie's play that evening. Cinderella was the play.
Nice.
She was girl number 3 / talkative maiden was her role.
Such a funny part name.
Well, what's hilarious is there's a scene where they're all dancing with the prince, and there's like a line of girls, and each girl has like a different little fumble. Like one girl steps on his foot, another girl like is too shy. Well, Allie was talkative. So it actually is, she's a talkative maiden.
Yeah. Or the other one's like clumsy maiden.
I don't even know. I didn't even look, but I just thought, this is why it's called talkative maiden. Because she's like, and they never dance. She's just talking to him the whole time. So anyways, that was great. And, but that is kind of what started some of the emotion. It was probably such a huge letdown. They've been working so hard on this play. They had 3 performances. They were exhausted. They were not feeling well. So I think by Saturday evening, she was like, okay, I'm ready to crash. Yesterday was pretty chill. We just went to church. We actually had our morning, pretty quiet. We didn't go to church till noon, so we had like the whole morning. We saunaed, which we haven't been doing much at all. So we did that. We decided we were going to go and get breakfast. We thought we have all this time, we might as well get breakfast, but we didn't leave our house like 11:15 for that. And we went to Grit City Breakfast on 6th Ave. It's at Tacoma Comedy Club.
Oh, cool.
I got these breakfast tacos.
At the 6th Ave Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yes, gotcha. Exactly. They were delicious. I will say we ended up waiting half an hour. So like we got there at like 11:25.
Okay.
We thought for sure half an hour, 40 minutes, we'll be in and out. Like restaurants are quick.
Yeah.
There was not a line. We sat right down. It took half an hour to get our food. So then we were like scrambling to get out of there. So we definitely want to go back and try again when we have a little bit more time and can actually sit and enjoy our food. But we did church, and then after church, Pipes had a friend come over. And it was really cute. Like she's coming down the street to our house with us, and she's like, wow, look at that view. This is beautiful. And you almost like forget, like, it's so fun to hear somebody else's eyes see it for the first time. And so she was so cute. So they played, they went swimming. Chad and I just did kind of stuff around the house. We have an appraisal today. We're trying to drop our PMI at our main residence. And so we were kind of tidying, doing yard work. By we, I mean he was cutting the grass and doing all that stuff. Just kind of getting prepped for that. And
you're gonna slip a 20 to the appraiser?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if he'll take it. Just like give us the best number you can. But yeah, I just, again, another kind of day where I felt a little bit like I'm feeling like I'm not really doing much, but trying to be okay with that because the weeks do get busy and we just got out of a hectic week. And so I was really trying to just be okay to just like do nothing, but I wanted to be doing something. So I felt a little funny yesterday, and that's maybe what led into the evening of whatever, you know. Can't blame everything on my child. Anyways, overall, good weekend.
Good weekend?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to do a little speed run through mine. So, same seas on Friday night.
Right.
Did my mom's birthday.
You started with a hike, though. You did coffee, hike.
Yes. So, my mom basically wanted to do something for her birthday, but she didn't want to plan it. So, she asked me if I would help plan it. And it was all basically a surprise. So, I coordinated with a lot of her friends and some family, and we probably had, I think, 15 of us on the hike.
Yeah.
So we met at the Wren's Nest Bakery, and then went to the hike at Point Defiance. I might have picked a hike that was a little bit too hard for the group because there was a couple kids in the group and people were struggling a little bit, but we made it through. I think it was 4.5 miles total, and people made it, and
that's not
timing worked out perfectly. Yeah. So, and hope givers that night, which was great.
Yeah.
Saturday we were supposed to hang out, but I bailed on you guys. I did with my Ironman training, when the weather sucks, it sucks. Because I can't, all I can do is swim, and I didn't need to swim. And I refuse to bike when it's raining.
Okay.
I'll go on a run if it's sprinkling, but if it's pouring, I'm not going to want to run.
Will you ever do indoor biking just to get the...
I should do that. I don't really do that, but I probably should. So I did an indoor run. I did a treadmill run.
Yeah.
I hate running on the treadmill. I did a 5-mile treadmill run, which is long for me for a run on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Right.
Got some groceries.
Nice.
We toured that mid-century modern house. Incredible.
You guys buying it or what?
Brian would love to buy it. Mm-hmm. It's not feasible.
What do you think as far as are they going to have a ton of offers? Did it
probably
seem
yeah, probably.
That the property, the grounds, were stunning.
If we I don't know. Brian really wants his house. He really, really wants it.
Just do it. Just figure it out.
We could figure it out.
Yeah.
It would wipe us out. It would be
we've all been there.
Our monthly payment would be almost $8,000 a month.
That's easy. Just keep selling houses.
It's crazy. No, when we remodeled this current house in Renton, I went from having a good amount of savings to being broke and owing I borrowed money from my parents, which I was grateful that they lent me money. But there was a period of almost a year where I had zero money and I was paying them back this loan, and I was just I don't like that feeling. I love having I would rather have a little bit of a safety.
You love having money.
No. I love this house, but I don't love it enough to feel so uncomfortably out of money.
House broke. You would hate to be house broke. No,
I have been, and it's not a good feeling.
No, we were in the exact same position after we built our house because it was everything we thought we were going to budget was way over.
Yeah.
And then we added more things to we put in a pool, we added these other things. So we definitely felt that. And then I stopped working.
Yeah.
And so it was even more of so we definitely can relate to that feeling of, and right now, after we've sold the duplex, we're in a good spot, but we're we will never go back to that.
Yeah.
So I hear you. That's where I hear you.
We'd have to sell all the stocks. Brian has some work stock. We'd have to sell off his 401k.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that works. We'd have to liquidate everything, probably borrow money, and then our payment would still be $8,000 a month. It's I can't do it. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine that. So, and it's a fixer. It needs $100,000 of work, probably. So it's just not in the cards, but Brian really wants to do it. So,
okay. Well, just keep the address, and maybe in a few years' time,
maybe
you could approach the new owners and just be what's it going to take?
What's it going to take? Yeah. And then we'll regret not buying it now because it'll be worth a few $100,000 more than that.
That's the only thing.
Okay, so we toured the house, and then we did dinner with Brian's parents. They made steak and potatoes and a salad.
I saw that. I saw that picture. Nice What's dinner. Your preferred way of a potato?
It's so funny. I almost asked that exact same question at dinner Saturday night. I was about to ask it, and then somebody else asked something else, and we got lost in the conversation. Yeah, because we were talking about the potatoes, and then I decided not to. But I was gonna ask that because I heard that question asked on another podcast.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They said, "What's your favorite potato?" And their answer was russet. A russet potato, which is not what they were asking at all. But that was his. That's
hilarious.
I can't even name another potato.
Golden, sweet.
Oh yes, you got it. You're on
red.
Favorite way potatoes can be cooked. I really love them all.
You do.
I love a shoestring French fry with an aioli.
Yeah.
I love Brian's parents garlic mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. I love a baked potato with all the fixings. I love a good baked
potato.
I love
What about a scalloped?
I had scalloped potatoes, I think, for the first time at the wedding.
Interesting.
In Monterey.
Thoughts?
Incredible. I think that's what it was a scalloped potato. Do you not like scalloped potatoes?
It's not my favorite.
You gotta go to a wedding at this place.
I guess I'll go to Monterey.
And find this caterer. I don't know who it was, but incredible.
Yeah.
I really love potatoes.
Yeah.
So
I saw your picture of plate and I was like, that looks like a great baked potato. That's why I wanted to ask.
For dessert, they made like, it was what was it, like vanilla ice cream with like a chocolate fudge sauce and then like a chocolate cookie. So good, so good. This is why I can't lose weight. And then we went home and we started the show Your Friends and Neighbors.
Yes.
Have you watched that,
sir? Do you listen to our podcast?
Have we talked about that show? Did you recommend that show to us?
Okay. I mean, I don't know if I recommend it to you. It's obviously very popular on Apple, but we have been watching it.
Okay, and we've talked about it. Yeah. This is one of our biggest fights is I don't listen, apparently, in Brian and I's relationship. It's not that I don't listen, I just don't remember.
I'm the exact same.
I just have a bad memory.
I don't think you and I are actually the best pair for this because we probably have repeated so much information. I am really bad.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll be listening to Armchair Expert and they'll repeat a story that I've heard many times before. I'm like, oh my gosh, come on again. But that's probably what people are thinking.
The thing is it's dangerous because Chad sometimes will be like, I told you this. And I'm like, oh, I swear you did. But I don't know. I don't trust myself. Yeah. And so he's probably gotten away with not telling me things and said, you just forgot.
Yeah, that's the danger of having bad memory.
So what do you think?
I like it a lot.
Okay.
I'm 3 episodes in, I think.
Yeah.
Did you watch all of it?
Yes, we're caught up.
How many episodes are there?
Oof. 5 or 6, maybe.
It's good. I feel like it feels very like, it's funny. We watched that show and then the next day that day, I think we had toured that Mid-Century Modern House.
Oh, right.
And the first episode, he's talking about how like you just kind of keep like you buy your first house and you are out of money and then you buy your next house and then you're out of money and then you buy your next house and you're out of money. And it's like, I don't know if I want to follow that trajectory. I know. I don't need a bigger and better thing all the time.
Right.
Like I'd rather feel comfortable.
Yeah. So. Well, to me, what's been so interesting about that show is that there is that wrestling. Like there's certain characters that you can see struggle with the whole concept of trying to keep up with the Joneses, if you will.
Yep.
The other piece, I was actually talking to your dad about this because our friend Peter is filming his next movie at your parents' house.
Yeah.
And they were talking, he was like, it's just so cool to like have him come and show like perspective of how they would make it work and how they would transition. And I was saying, what a fun job to be the person who goes and scouts locations for films. That show in particular, how many amazing homes do we see that I'm like, how do they, this is a house. This is somebody's home that we get to see right now. It's unreal.
Have you been to like upstate New York before?
Yes, but I don't know the houses.
I think that's what that area is called, like Hudson Valley or something. I don't really know, but I looked up the name of the city they're in the show, and it's a fictional city, but it's based on that kind of area, like in upstate New York.
Okay,
yeah.
I just assumed it was supposed to be like California, like LA or something.
New York, yeah, because they all work. He works in finance in New York.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's like it's like a north of Manhattan, basically.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The other one I told you about, but I don't know if you've started, 4 Seasons. Did you guys watch that one with Tina Fey? And
I
Steve
watched
Carell?
it. Yeah, I think I watched all of it. I think.
Did you?
I really am concerned about my memory sometimes. 4 Seasons. Steve Carell. Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, the 3 couples.
Yes, I watched it while I was like doing something else.
Okay.
So it was not like super present. But I thought it was okay. I didn't love that show.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Why.
Yeah.
It kind of just made me sad.
Yeah. Okay. I think maybe if you were maybe this is like a thing, like we're in a different season of like life and marriage.
Yeah.
And so there's parts where you're like, man, that like it hits home. It's it feels relatable. And that's probably just not a season that you've hit yet.
Yeah, probably.
This is where we're different.
For anybody who's going to watch that show, fast forward 30 seconds here. You've watched the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fast forward 30 seconds. The fact that Steve Carell dies in that show. Did you watch The Morning Show?
What do you mean? The actual?
I don't know something else. The Morning Show is a show with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, yes. No, I've seen a few episodes, but not really.
Are you going to watch it?
Probably not.
Okay, I don't know. No.
Does he die in that too?
Yeah. Also in a same way.
In a freak accident?
Freak car accident. Both shows, he dies in a freak car accident. And it's just like, I don't like it.
I know. That one really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other shows you recommended to me?
I feel like there was something we were watching, but now I don't remember.
I feel like I have a lot of shows I'm watching right now, so I'm getting a little lost in my shows.
Okay.
But
just stick to where you're at, you know? We did rent a movie last night called The Drop. It's in, I think it's in theaters right now, but they have it on Amazon Prime, and that was kind of fun. It was fun to we actually watched it with both the girls, and it was PG-13, so I was worried about pipes. Like, is this something too intense? But it was actually not that bad. It was kind of a thriller. She's on a first date at a restaurant, and she keeps getting these digi-drops, they're called, kind of like an airdrop.
Okay.
And it's like basically somebody is like telling her she's got to kill her date or her son's going to be killed. And so the whole movie, you're like trying to figure out who's sending her these things, and she's getting these different tasks she has to do. And so it's pretty intense, but it was, little psych thriller.
Yeah, my shows I'm watching right now. So we're watching The Last of Us, which we watched last night. Are you watching that? Okay.
I don't have HBO.
Zombie show. There was an episode the previous week that something happened. I'm haunted.
Oh,
I really like. It made me. It's not good. There's a way that somebody was killed, and it's not pretty.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Watching that show, and then your friends and neighbors. I'm watching The Studio.
Oh, okay.
Which is good on
Apple
TV.
Did start that.
And then No Good Deed, which is a show with the lady from Friends.
Yes. Lisa Kudrow.
Lisa Kudrow, yep.
I finished that. That was good.
So I'm like in the middle of 4 shows right now.
I really like that.
It's too much for my brain.
Okay.
Okay, let me finish up here because I need to wrap up here. I think let's see where we're at.
Over an hour. Guys, it's been 2 weeks.
Hour.
We're sorry.
Okay. So Sunday, I did a 60-mile bike ride yesterday morning.
We haven't even finished your weekend yet.
Almost done. 60-mile bike ride. Beautiful.
60 miles.
Beautiful ride. My longest training ride so far.
Wow.
For this Ironman training.
Okay.
We were going to Brian's nephew's t-ball game.
Cute.
In Woodinville. So, and I was running. I started the bike ride like an hour later than I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out like how to end it so that Brian could pick me up from the ride.
Perfect.
It was a lot of coordinating, but he ended up bringing me a bag to LA Fitness.
Okay.
And Kirkland, and I rode there, and then but he had to get to the game. So then he took my bike, I took the bag.
Yeah.
I showered, and then I Ubered to the game. So there's a lot of logistics.
He couldn't wait for you.
No, he had to go.
Like, I got it.
He's very timely.
Yeah.
That Brian.
I appreciate that.
Very untimed things.
Yeah.
Did the t-ball game, and then did dinner with Brian's family. Went to a burger place.
Another dinner with them?
Another dinner. Yeah.
Wow. Back to back?
Saturday night was just his parents. Sunday night was his parents and his sisters.
Oh, fun.
Family,
okay. After
the
t-ball. Got it.
Yep. So got burgers, which was at this, I don't remember what it's called, but it was in Kirkland.
Okay.
Which was good.
Yeah.
Little walk-up place.
Nice.
And then last night we did some wedding stuff. Sent out some more invites.
Thanks for the reminder by the hotel, by the way.
Oh,
I actually totally forgotten. We had RSVP'd, and I was like, okay, and then I'll like book our flights in our hotel, next week or something. And it just totally slipped my mind.
Yeah.
So we're booked.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for booking. And then we watched that show. And that was it.
Nice.
It's a weekend.
Man, we had a long conversation today.
Let's keep going. Should we talk for another hour?
Sometimes
as I was walking
therapeutic.
Up today, I was like, this is actually probably good practice for just for conversing in general. Not that you struggle with conversing, but like for let's say a networking conversation or going up to a stranger, like it's good to practice talking to people.
It actually is so funny you say that, because I do worry with our technology and Chat GPT and AI taking over all of our communication that like we lose this personal thing. Yeah. And the thing about like you and I too is like, I don't know what you're going to share. You don't know what I'm going to share. Right. And so on the fly, we've got to come up with responses and questions. I do think it's actually a really good exercise.
So everybody should start a podcast.
Start a podcast and just talk to your friends.
You might get 30 listeners on a good day, but
listen, it's worth it.
That's all that matters.
Feels good.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. Goodbye. Bye, everybody.